Hello, how are you guys doing tonight? I am here to honor a quality and a character trait that has lost a lot of its value and even its definition within the past couple years. It's something that is near and dear to my heart, something that I support, but I can also understand where some people don't understand it. And so I'm hoping to honor it, to promote it, and to kind of give everybody a little bit of background and maybe change your mind on how you feel about it. I'm going to talk about, is modest really the hottest? And it's a phrase that I grew up hearing day in, day out, all the time. And I always thought that somebody was trying to judge me based on the way that I looked. Tell me that I didn't dress appropriately enough, or I was too boastful in things that I did, and it kind of offended me. And I feel like that's how a lot of people are nowadays. And now that I've done some research and I've looked at it, modesty is a thing to be honored. It's not a thing to look down on. It's not a thing to be upset if somebody says something about it to you. It's all in how it's taken. And I feel like it's lost a lot of its value. So hopefully I can teach you a little bit about it and maybe teach you to honor it as well. First of all, there are two different types of modesty. It's in your appearance and in your character. Webster says that the quality of not being too proud or confident about yourself or your abilities is the definition of modesty when speaking about your character. And the definition of modesty when speaking about your clothing is the quality of behaving and especially dressing in ways that do not attract sexual attention. In today's world, modesty has been taken completely sexual. It is based on how you dress and if you turn on the opposite sex or if you attract people or anything like that. And that is not what it's meant to be at all. But there's definitely two sides. There is the side from the biblical standpoint, and there is the side of society standpoint. And I am going to talk about both. I'm not strictly pro-modesty or anti-modesty. I am in the middle. I see where people come from, and I just really don't want people to think that it's a bad thing. So I'm hoping that this will help a little bit. Society and the Bible have not been able to agree on this topic for longer than I can possibly imagine. Churches and people argue all the time over what this is. So who is right? Is modesty even a real thing? Can you define modesty for yourself? So let's hear a little bit from both sides. First up, we're going to talk about society's point of view. Society says that women have fought for years for empowerment, and the idea that we have to cover ourselves up, body or talents, is taking away from that empowerment. I don't think that that's necessarily true, but we're going to talk about that in a minute. Why should we have to cover ourselves up and men don't? Men can walk around without shirts on and sag their pants or whatever it is that they do, and girls are expected to constantly cover up. That doesn't make a lot of people very happy. Well, some people are just too insecure, and that's why they cover up. Just because they're insecure doesn't mean that I have to be. That can be taken many different ways. I see where people are coming from, but I don't think that insecurity is necessarily all that has to do with. And a lot of people use the quote, "So you think you're better than me." They refer to it as the holier than thou card, and I don't truly think that that's what it is. I truly think that it is just a different way of life that somebody has chosen to live. Because you choose to live a modest lifestyle and you don't choose to boast or to put yourself out there, that doesn't mean that you're insecure. It doesn't mean that you think you're better than somebody else. It is totally up to you. If that's the lifestyle you want to live, go ahead and do it. Nobody should tell you that you can't. I hear these comments, the four that I just said, more and more than anything nowadays. It's constant. Like I said, I can defend both sides. I can stand up for it. I can go against it. I am truly in the middle. I'm simply here to just give honor to a topic that's been misconstrued to be a bad thing, because it's not a bad thing. It's a thing that's not understood. But at the end of the day, it is your life. Live it how you choose. Live it how you see fit. I promise you, I am not going to judge you. And if other people do judge you, they have no place to judge you. It's not their right, and it's not their place. Now for the next side, we're going to talk about the Bible standpoint on it. The human body is a sacred part of God's creation and should be treated that way. It's the first and foremost thing that the Bible tells us, is that our body is a temple and it's sacred and it needs to be reserved. I fully agree with that statement. I honor it. I think that our bodies are sacred and they should be reserved. It's one of those things that it's your personal decision. The Bible also says that we need to draw attention to God and not ourselves. I am a firm believer that God has given us the talents that we have and the bodies that we have, and that we should bring glory to Him with them. A lot of people don't necessarily believe that, and all comes down to it being your choice. But I do believe that we should honor God with our bodies and with the talents that we do. Without Him, we wouldn't have them. So it's only right that we give back to Him what He's given to us. Your heart is what matters. I know that in today's world it's, oh, your personality is what matters. That's all that really matters. Outside appearance doesn't matter. And to a lot of people, sadly, outside appearance is all that matters. And it's really sad that our world has gone that way. It's sad that a girl who wants to cover up and not boast, or a guy even that wants to cover up and not boast and be in everybody's face, is looked at as a bad thing. It's really, really sad because they've been taught that it's a bad thing, that they shouldn't do it. And more things are happening and things are becoming more degrading all the time. And it's really sad that that's what our world's come to. And you are precious, not because your body looks great in that outfit, not because you talk the way that people want you to talk, or you do what people want you to do. You're precious because you're a human and God made you, and He gave you a sole purpose in life, and that makes you you, and nothing should stop you from being that. I know that this speech doesn't seem like necessarily a commemorative speech. It doesn't seem like a big deal. It doesn't seem like something that needs to be honored, but in my heart and in my mind, it's something that's precious to me. It's something I've been taught my whole life. Been taught that it's good and that it's bad, and it gets confusing on what to choose. Society tells us one thing, and the Bible tells us another, and different groups of people have different standards, and it's okay to have those. So once again, I say that ultimately the choice is yours. You can pick to live a modest lifestyle. You don't have to. It is up to you. I felt led to speak on this because I believe the meaning behind it has been completely destroyed. You don't have to wear skirts to your toes and turtlenecks all the time to be considered a modest person. You are allowed to be pretty. You are allowed to wear clothes that show off your body. You are allowed to be proud of the talents that you have, but in a humble manner, not rubbing them in everybody's faces, and not necessarily being the world's idea of a showstopper. You can be talented and be excellent and be great and beautiful and everything without having the determined goal to stop everybody in their tracks all the time. I'm sure that I stepped on a lot of toes with my speech, and that was not my intention at all, and I do apologize if feelings were hurt, if toes were stepped on. I never wanted to do that. It's just something that I feel like my toes have been stepped on before because I didn't understand it, and I really hope that a lot of you take this as just me trying to explain it to you and to really just bring honor and shed light on something that means a lot to me. But if I did step on your toes or I did offend you, I am sorry. So, again, I ask you, is modest really the hottest? And what is your definition of modesty? You pick what it means to you. And if you think that you're living a modest lifestyle and you're content with the way that it's going, then that is okay. It's your life and you're allowed to do that. I just wanted to thank you all for listening to my speeches throughout the semester, for bearing with me and just caring to give me your opinions and taking the time to peer review. I really do appreciate it. I wish all of you nothing but the best in all of your future endeavors, in your seeking careers and continued classes and anything else that you might have to do. I really wish you nothing but the best, and I hope that you just succeed in everything that you do. So thank you for listening. Have a great night.